Here's my audience. They will be introducing themselves.
Hi, my name is Ernest.
My name's Donnie Baker.
My name's Amelia O'Driscoll.
Thank you, ma'am. Just imagine you're on a 2-lane highway in the fast lane, going the speed limit, headed to work. Your normal speed and way of travel will usually get you to work on time. Not today, though. You come up behind a car going extremely slow in the fast lane, and then you're stuck behind them. Eventually, you're finally able to get around them. You glance over, and what do you know? Your instincts tell you you were correct, and it is an elderly driver who, in your opinion, should not be driving. I'm sure you are all familiar with this incident or something like it. The common denominator is the elderly. Today I will be persuading you to sign a petition to have drivers over the age of 65 years of age retested. My personal experience and knowledge of these accidents and traffic safety issues have triggered me to want to change these dangerous situations. First, I will be discussing traffic safety. Lastly, I'll be discussing crashes with fatalities. Let us begin talking about traffic safety. So what is causing elderly drivers to disrupt traffic safety? According to Robert Davis's article, When is it time to put the brakes on the elderly? As they age, drivers tend to take their cars on shorter trips. But even so, health problems often catch up with them. Reflexes, flexibility, visual acuity, memory, and ability to focus decline with age. Also discussed in Davis's article, family and friends should be on the lookout for medical issues in the elderly, such as Alzheimer's, diabetes, Parkinson's, and strokes. The signature crash for elderly drivers occurs when their paths intersect with drivers who are following the traffic rules. They turn in front of oncoming cars, they miss stop signs, and run red lights. Also, according to When Is It Time to Put the Brakes on the Elderly, experts suggest that you retire your keys if you get anxious or unsure behind the wheel, have trouble with the gas or the brake pedal, move too slowly on the highway, or get honked by other drivers. Or you can upset your passengers by driving dangerously. So what has been done to try to curb these traffic safety issues? According to Jenny Bergal's article in State Line, auto safety groups also recommend that transportation agencies take action on their own by making letters on the road signs larger, making pavement markings more visible, and adding left turn lanes and signals at intersections. Bergal also states that several advanced technologies, such as collision warning systems and rear-view cameras, can also help seniors to drive safely for a longer period, a 2015 AAA report found. But all the bells and whistles can actually distract older drivers. And what risks do older drivers pose to traffic safety? David Loran states that more modest measures, such as requiring physicians to inform the DMV if they believe that patients' driving ability may be impaired, may be justified, even if relatively few traffic accidents are preventable as a result. Now that I've discussed the effects of traffic safety, let's discuss crash fatalities. So what effect do elderly drivers have on crashes with fatalities? As stated by Loran, a rash of highly publicized accidents caused by older drivers, 65 and older, has raised fears about the risk they pose to other drivers. And as their numbers increase, the issue will just become more urgent. In the article Too Old to Drive by James McKnight, it is stated that for every mile they drive, people over the age of 65 are more likely to be seriously injured or even killed than any other group except teenagers. McKnight also states that elderly drivers are simply more fragile. Thus, when in an accident, they're just more likely to be severely hurt. The threat that drivers face is mitigated to the same extent by a decrease in the miles that they drive. But the fact remains, elderly drivers put themselves at a significantly greater risk when they get behind the wheel. Barry Meyer discusses in his New York Times article that in 1990, about 22 million of the 167 million licensed drivers in this country were 65 years of age or older. And the number of licensed drivers 65 and older has increased 75% between 1997 and 2020. And several studies predict that that percentage of older people driving will grow markedly in the years ahead, with the fastest growing group those over age 85.
Wow.
Also discussed in Meyer's article, officials weigh public safety against older drivers' rights. Whatever the case, researchers are turning their attention to the effect of aging on driving. Most agree that while eyesight typically begins to decline at age 40, some reflexes and cognitive skills that may be less easy to correct fade at around age 75. Some of the cognitive skills that decline with normal aging are processing speed, certain memory, language, and depth perception. So what has been done to curb these crashes with elderly fatalities? Also in Too Old to Drive, the challenge facing transportation communities is how to provide the elderly with easy mobility they have enjoyed their whole lives, throughout their lives, with at the same time protecting them as drivers and other drivers. Effects to improve safety for elderly drivers falls into many categories. Making automobiles safer, making roadways safer, and assessing driver skills, and even when necessary, either offering remedial help, restricting or revoking driving privileges, and developing alternative means of transportation, whether public or private. In conclusion, today we have discussed traffic safety and crash fatalities involving the elderly. These are considered two key issues of older drivers. Knowing that we have all experienced elderly drivers' mistakes at some point or another, and the many things that have been tried to curb these issues, shows that we need to speak out on the issue of being retested. As of now, we've all had to anticipate what they will do on the road and drive for them, but sometimes that's still not enough. Now that I have given you some information on these elder driver safety concerns, I will be asking you to sign a petition to make sure that drivers over the age of 65 are safe to drive. This petition has been created by me in the hopes that with your signatures that we will have a bill passed. A bill to have all drivers 65 years of age or older to take the DMV road test every 2 years to be able to hold a valid driver's license. The petition will be found on the exit table by the door. Please take the time to ensure the safety of your family and loved ones by signing this petition. I always try to think of my grandmother and grandfather not only causing a traffic safety issue, but being the fatality in an accident. My heart would be broken, as I'm sure yours would be if it were one of your loved ones. Therefore, we must use our voices, sign the petition, and stop this now. Thank you.
Good job. Good job.